Dubai, I placed first in the overall, and then Taiwan as well, which
Okay.
was also a great start. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, first off, do you feel like you brought the best package you could have brought this year, or I should say last year? What do you feel like, as far as development is concerned, could have maybe given you that edge to take first at WNBF Worlds? That could be something that you might be thinking now moving into the off season, I would assume, right? Like, oh, I got to prioritize this. I'm gonna maybe keep that on maintenance. Like, what's your thoughts about this moving forward? What was your thoughts going into the contest and then how it ended? Like, were you just blown away a little bit by how that went, or?
Honestly, it's like I went definitely to the competition with like the desire to win, also like a little bit of the expectations, right? Like when you win last year, like I go into it with like some higher expectations. Yeah, and then stepping on stage, we had like a long time there, and the first place is a Seppen from China, and he's also insanely good athlete. So I do believe also after seeing the footage afterwards that it was probably a very close battle between the two of us. So his quads are insane, and I have like some poses are on my favor, then some other poses on his favor. So I think it was definitely very close battle. So I'm not too like, let's say, shocked in a way because I
Mm.
know he's very good, like a very good
Right.
athlete. But yeah, that is the thing. Like you never know who shows up, and also don't know like the venue, for instance, like the lighting wasn't as good. So one thing could be with like maybe better lighting, my condition could be like more presented in a way. So maybe the result would have been different otherwise. But that is like why with bodybuilding shows, right? Like a lot of luck is also a thing like where what the judges want to see how the venue is. And I think if you're like a more shredded guy, like very lean, and the lighting isn't as good, the guy who's maybe a little bit more poppy or has a little bit more musculature, but is not as lean, probably wins against you.
Mhm.
So, and then if there's other venue with like better lighting and it's close, probably the guy who's more conditioned wins. So sometimes like a luck thing, I think as well. Yeah, and especially since it was like such a close battle, I'm like quite like I'm definitely pumped for that off season because in 26 I want to reclaim the title. That's one of my main goals. But also knowing like yeah, because it was so close to win back to back, it's a big driver for me as well. It wasn't like that I placed I don't know fifth or something though. It's still like very
Right.
close.
What
So
do you think
yeah.
was well, first off, do you feel like you brought the best package you could have brought this year, or I should say last year?
Yeah, definitely. Like way better than 2023, I would say. Like way more muscular, like way more musculature, and same, at least same levels of conditioning. And yeah, like by walls, it was the best package ever. Like the WNBF Germany, that was a little bit disappointed in a way because there was I was quite flat, the physique was stressed. But then Worlds, like poof, this was definitely my best package. So I'm content with it, even with playing second in a way, because the main goal is always bringing my best. And then, yeah, the second goal is like winning as well. So I definitely want to win. But if, let's say, if I win, but I didn't put my best, I would be not as happy as maybe placing second, but bringing my best, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. And at WNBF Germany, remind me, I know you took first at WNBF Taiwan, but did you win WNBF Germany as well? First place?
There I placed second in Germany as well
Oh,
because there
second.
I
Okay.
think I was quite flat. The physique was a little bit stressed. Also a 1 point decision, so super close in Germany. And yeah, but Dubai I placed first in the overall, and then Taiwan as well, which
Okay.
was also a great start. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What body part do you feel at this point could have maybe given you that edge? Because obviously conditioning wasn't an issue. You're better than you were last year, or better than you were in 2023, right? In
Yeah.
2024, you were better than 2023. But what do you feel like, as far as development is concerned, could have maybe given you that edge to take first at WNBF Worlds? That could be something that you might be thinking now moving into the off season, I would assume, right? Like, oh, I got to prioritize this. I'm gonna maybe keep that on maintenance. Like, what's your thoughts about this moving forward?
Like I do believe is adding even more pop to my frame. So I focus in this offseason is like the quads and the lats in a way. So I think if I bring up even more the back and the quads, I create even more of that like wow, like that X frame and even more of that wow factor. So I think that is the main thing what I like why like Seven he has also like very like round muscle belly that is really much popping everywhere and to be very competitive against guys like him, I need to, yeah, focus on those muscle groups to give me that pop, like side delts, quads, back, especially back as well, I feel, because back is something you see on the front, obviously on the back poses, but also on the quads. So I think with big quads, it will make a huge difference. So that's the
Yeah.
plan for this off. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, like focus in the back. Yeah.
Do you feel like from the front though, I would say your front poses are better than your back poses for the most part? Let me put it this way. I know that you have an insane front lat spread, like
Mm.
front lat spread, front relaxed. Those are really good poses on you. Would you agree with that, by the way?
Yeah, like the front lat spread, I think is my strongest front pose, the front lat
Right.
spread. That's what I would say. Yeah.
And would you say from the when you reverse it, so when you're doing the back lat spread, is that where you start to see, oh, I need to improve my back? Like, is that where you're thinking this is something I can improve when you basically
Yes.
turn it around?
The turning around. I think my hamstring glutes is very like very good. It's more so the back, what I need even more on
Okay.
the I think on the back double, back lat spread. So that's what I believe. It's like it will
Okay.
make a difference. On the front poses, I would say even more quads. And those two things I think will make a huge difference in next time stepping up there.
And that's amazing because for those listening, if you've seen Dirk's physique, and I'm going to put photos up right now for those of you tuning in on YouTube, like you wouldn't think quads are an issue on you. Like that, like I would think that's your best body part. We're talking about nitpicking because you're trying to be the best in the world, right? That's a very different thing.
Yeah, that's like details. Like what like everything needs to be freaky already to be like in the top three in the world, right? So everything needs to be even more freaky. Like that is the thing. It's like really that detail work of like what makes you look even more, yeah, insane on stage, I think. When it comes to the world level, like also like a natural pro bodybuilding, I do believe it's like look as freaky as possible. You need to look like a freak up there. And the top three already all look like freaks, but you know, if you want to win, you need to look like insane, where people can't, like a car crash, you can't look away from that in a way. That is
Yeah.
like how it has to look like, right? Like you saw that in the middleweights, like Babaga and so on. It's like you can't look away. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That was nuts. That battle between Oscar and Babacar was
Oh
nuts.
yeah, that was insane. Yeah.
And you saw it in person. I didn't get to see that in person, but when I saw the photos, I was like, this is next level. But you know what? I have a thing I want to mention because I remember Eric mentioning this on the Iron Culture podcast. Shout out to Eric if you're tuning in. He had mentioned that this was the most recent one. Maybe you tuned into this episode. I'm not sure, Dirk, but he said how thought that maybe the competition was so like, whoa, this year that, or I should say 2024, that if Benjamin Schuster and Frederick Ibsen came back
Yeah.
this year, they're both middleweights. It might have been like first, second, and then third, fourth for Benjamin and Frederick potentially because of how obviously Babacar is a three-time world champion now, and then Oscar is like it's only a matter of time, is how what everyone's probably thinking, right?
Yes. So I agree. I think like Benjamin and Frederick, they would probably battle between third and fourth place, most
Right.
likely. Because like the density on Oscar, especially, I never saw something like that ever before. It was insane backstage. I
Right.
was
Right. And
yeah.
to be fair, Benjamin is very young. He's like 22 or something like this, right? So he's
22
got
now, I
time.
guess. Yeah.
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 And
A lot
Oscar's
of
like
time.
late 30s. Babacar's older as well. I'm not sure his exact age, but I can't imagine he's in his 20s. So,
I think Baba Gar's even in his 40s. I'm not sure.
oh, so there you go. There you go. So,
Or
and
late 30s.
late 30s. Okay. And Frederick, do you know his age? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's mid 30s, I do believe.
Okay.
He's,
Okay.
I think.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not uh,
Yeah. So it does make a difference though, the time, like to have your time to build this physique. I mean, you have time. Like you'll probably hit your peak in like mid to late 30s, but probably like you still got time to
like
keep
within the
going,
next
right?
10 years, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.